Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about glomerular filtration. So, what is the glomerular filtration? The fluid that enter in the capsular space is called glomerular filtration. Okay, the space between the two layers that we discussed in previous lecture, where the space are found, that capsular space. You watch the previous video and then come to the this video. Okay, so the space that is capsular space in which the fluid is found is called as a glomerular fluid, and the fraction of blood plasma that is present in the afferent arteriole of the kidney is called as fractional filtration या filtration fraction that become a glomerular filtration. Volume of glomerular filtration daily is in adult male is 180 liter and in female 150 liter. So this is the average uh, average volume of glomerular filtration, not rate. It is the volume of glomerular filtrate in a day. About 99% of the glomerular filtrate reabsorbed in the blood streams that we discuss in the next lectures. So wait for that. And only 1 to 2 liter that is excreted in urine form. Okay, only 1 to 2 liter that is excreted as a urine. So here we deal with the filtration membrane. So in filtration membrane we discuss glomerular capillary and the podocyte which completely encircle the capillaries to form a leaky barrier known as filtration membrane. That membrane is a leaky membrane and composed by glomerular capillary and podocytes, and this membrane allow all the solvents of the fluid solute. This membrane allow all the solutes except blood plasma, blood proteins. They are not be filtrated. They are not come out this filtration membrane. So this is the main exception of this membrane. Substance filtered from the blood by three barrier. In the filtration membrane, the substance that filter out, they cross the three barrier. So one by one we discuss in next slide. So they are the three barriers are glomerular epithelium, basement membrane, and the filtration slates. So first we see the glomerular epithelium. This is also we discussed in the previous lecture where the glomerular epithelium are found, and so now we are see their diameters and what is the different type of epithelium those are found in the body. There are some difference this glomerular epithelium than the normal body epithelium. So we deal with this thing. So first, glomerular epithelium are a leaky in nature, having a fenestration, means have a pores, and their pores diameter is 0.07 to 0.1 micrometer are the diameter of their pores. So this reason they are in leaky natures. So this size permit all the solutes except the blood cell, that they cannot allow the blood cells. Okay, so this is the function of this membrane. In glomerular capillaries and the cleft between the afferent and efferent arteriole having a mesenganglion mesen having a mesangial cell, cell. This cell help in regulation of glomerular filtration. How this cell help in the regulation? So we discuss this. These cells when mesangial cells are relaxed, the surface area is maximum. Which surface area? That surface area in the glomerular capillary. When these mesangial cells are relaxed, the surface area in the glomerular capillaries are increased. So maximum the surface area, more fluid can be filtrate. So these mesangial cells help in the regulation of the glomerular filtration. And in the reverse condition, the mesangial cells are in contract at that time. They decrease the surface area of the glomerular capillaries. You understand this point? If the surface area of the glomerular capillaries are decreased, the filtration of fluid and fluid that in this capillary, that not much filtrate, and the glomerular filtration will be decreased. Okay, next the second barrier is the basement membrane. The basement membrane is a cellular material. These cells are the acellular and found between the epithelium, that is the glomerular epithelium, and the podocyte. They are found between these two cells, these two layers, epithelium cell layer and podocytes. So these basement membranes consist of collagen fibers and negative charged glycoproteins. Okay, they have a collagen fiber and the negative charged glycoproteins. The negative charged glycoprotein repel the plasma protein, because the protein is also in a negative charged, are also in negative charged nature. So these proteins are repelled. So in almost most of the anionic why this repulsion they cannot pass the filtrate membrane, because of this repulsion. The protein cannot be passed. Okay, so in third one is the barrier is the filtrate slit. So these filtrate slits are formed by the space between the pedicels. So what is the pedicel? In previous lecture we also discussed that pedicels are the foot-like projection. These are the extension of the podocytes which is wrapped around the glomerulus capillary, that we already discussed. So the filtration slit are formed by the space between the pedicels, and pedicels are the extension of the podocyte. This extension look like a foot-like shape. So this membrane slit, this membrane, that is the slit membrane, is in thin in nature and extended across each filtrate slit. These are in thin nature and extended across the each filtrate slit, which permit the molecule having a diameter smaller than the 0.006 to the 0.007 micrometer. You got this point? That slit membrane is extended across each filtrate slit. There is a filtrate slit, that is the space between the podocytes. This thin membrane extended. Which thin membrane? That is slit membrane. There is a slit membrane over the space between the pedicels. So they have also pores with whose diameter is 0.006 to 0.007 micrometer. So less than 1% albumin and small proteins pass this slit membrane. Only 1% of albumin and most in few number of plasma protein pass the slit membrane. Okay, you understand these lines? So any confusion, comment in the comment box, any query, so I can give you answer of that queries. Next this is the diagram that we discussed in last two slides about the podocytes, their pedicels, and have a filtrate slit, and also we discussed the penetration of the glomerular epithelium, basal lamina of the glomerulus, slit membrane. We also discussed that slit membrane between the space of the pedicels. So here in third point, slit membrane between the pedicels. This is the red one is the slit membrane, and basal lamina of the glomerulus is the blue, prevent the filtration of large proteins. And this is the penetration, that is a pore of glomerular epithelium cell, prevent the filtration of blood but allow all component of blood plasma to pass through. It permit only the blood cell. So penetration prevent blood cell. Basal lamina of the glomerulus prevent the filtration of large proteins, and slit membrane prevent the middle size of the protein, whose sizes we can also discuss that whose size protein size in between the less than the 0.06 to 0.007 micrometer. That protein are enter into the slit membrane. This is the podocyte cell, podocyte of the visceral layer of the glomerulus capsule. This is the pedicel. There is a slit between the over the make a slit. That's the foot-like projections. This is the pedicel, and this is the filtrate slit. And filtrate slit, between the filtrate slit, they have a slit membrane. So this is the diagrammatic representation of the renal capsule. This is the one layer we can clearly see. And this is a detail of the renal filtration membrane. This is the filtration. The fluid that come out the renal capsule by three barrier. First is the penetration, penetration in the glomerular epithelium cell, and second barrier is basement membrane, and third barrier is the slit membrane. So nuclear and not this point. The principle of filtration is use of a pressure to force the fluid and solute through the membrane. So filtration of fluid is through the pressure. If the pressure is change in pressure, the filtration of fluid will be changed. Okay, so these are the points we discuss one by one. Volume of the fluid filtered by the renal capsule is much larger than the other blood capillary of the body by the three reasons. So filtration of the renal capsule is larger, is more larger than the filtration in the blood capillary that is present in the body. This filtration, glomerular filtration, is much larger. Have three reasons. First is the glomerular capillary are present large surface area for filtration because they have long and extensive. These capillary have a large surface area and deep extended in the renal capsules, and in the glomerular capillaries, they have mesangial cells that regulate the surface area. We already have a discussion on that, but we revise this that renal in renal capsules they have a mesangial cells. When these cells are relaxed, the more surface area in the glomerular capillary for the filtration of the fluid. So more the surface area, more is the filtration. When these cells are contractile, they contract, they decrease the surface area of the glomerular capillary. If the surface area is decreased, so what happens? Glomerular filtration is also be decreased. This is the main function of this cells. And another reason of high filtration of the renal capsule capillaries, that is glomerular capillary, is the filtration membrane. We already discussed the filtration membrane are in leaky natures, have a thin and porous. The thickness of this membrane is 0.1 millimeter, and glomerular capillaries are also 50 times weaker than the blood capillary because of the penetration. So you understand these two lines. These are the main lines of this topics. So if you not understand these line, you can't understand the whole lectures. So next, the third reason of high glomerular filtration is the glomerular capillary blood pressure is high because the efferent arteriole are smaller in diameter and afferent arterioles have more diameter. So the if the diameter of the artery afferent arteriole is more, the more is blood flow into the capillary, and the efferent arteriole have the small diameter, so the outflow of the fluid is less than the inflow of the fluid. This reason the capillary of glomerular capillary have high blood pressure. You understand this lines? If the inflow of the fluid is more and the outflow of the fluid is less, the pressure inside the capillary is increased. Next is net filtration pressure, that is NFP. Glomerular filtration depend upon the three processes. First is the glomerular blood hydrostatic pressure, capsular hydrostatic pressure, and blood clot hydrostatic pressure. The glomerular blood hydrostatic pressure is that pressure which produced by the glomerular capillary. The blood pressure in the glomerular capillaries is called the glomerular blood hydrostatic pressure, and this pressure is about 55 mmHg. And what is the capsular hydrostatic pressure? That hydrostatic pressure exerted against the filtration membrane by fluid already in the capsular space and the renal tube. The fluid that is already inside the capsular space and the renal tubule, they exert a negative, opposite pressure on the hydrostatic pressure, and the capsular hydrostatic oppose the filtration and represent as a back pressure of that, and this back pressure is about 15 mmHg. And third process is the blood clot osmotic pressure. This is due to the protein that is present in the blood plasma, such as albumin, globulin, and fibrinogens. This also oppose the filtration, and this blood clot osmotic pressure is about 30 mmHg in the glomerular capillary. So this is the formula how we calculate the NFP. Glomerular blood hydrostatic pressure minus capsular hydrostatic pressure and blood clot osmotic pressure. The capsular hydrostatic pressure is minus, and this is because why this minus subtract in this, because they apply a opposite back pressure to the glomerular capillaries. So that's why this pressure is subtracted. And blood clot osmotic pressure also subtract because it oppose the filtration. So this is the calculation, and you can, this is easy subtraction, so you can calculate. Okay, this is 10 mmHg is the net filtration pressure. This is the diagram, so you can remember that which is the blood clot hydrostatic pressure, which is blood clot osmotic pressure, which is capsular hydrostatic pressure. So that is purple one is the blood hydrostatic pressure, the blood that enter from the afferent arteriole and go into the capillary for the filtration. And this green is the fluid pressure, that is that pressure, that fluid already exists in the space. This is the space. In this space the already fluid are present, that produce a pressure to that produce a opposite pressure on the glomerular capillary. So this is opposing pressure, and this yellow blood collide osmotic pressure. This is pressure produced by the proteins that are present in the blood plasma. Those proteins are albumin, globulin, and fibrinogens. See this is a clear diagram, and this is the net output pressure that enter in the PCT. And this is also diagram. This is the blood clot. Okay, same diagram. Glomerular filtration rate. Now we discuss about the glomerular filtration rate. So the amount of filtrate formed in a renal capsule of both kidney in each minute is called glomerular filtration rate. In an adult male, average glomerular filtration rate is 125 ml per minute, and in the female it is 105 ml per minute. This filtration rate maintain the homeostasis of the fluid inside homeostasis of the fluid. So if the glomerular filtration is high, so what happened if in a pipe have if in a pipe the flow of water is more, they quickly go to the drum tanki. So in same case, in the glomerular filtration rate, if this is higher, so that fluid go quickly through the renal tubule. So what happened? The substance which are absorbed by the capillaries, those substances which are needed for the body, they are absorbed by the bloodstream. They cannot be absorbed. They excreted into the urine. You understand this line? If the glomerular filtration rate is too high, it is higher than the normal rate, then what happens? The needed substance, they cannot be reabsorbed back to the bloodstream. They excreted out. So this is the meaning of this line. If the glomerular filtration rate is too low, then the reverse, that unwanted waste product also be reabsorbed. If the abnormality in the filtration, so these are the two conditions that will be happen with that patient and that person. Okay, that if the high, the needed substance can be excreted out, and if it is too low than the normal, then it can absorb the waste product also. So glomerular filtration rate is directly related to the pressure. That is the pressure that we discussed in last slide. They have a pressure, different pressures. This glomerular filtration rate directly proportional to the pressure. That if any change in the net filtration pressure, that affect the glomerular filtration rate. Okay, if any change in the pressure, the filtration rate is changed. So mechanism that regulate glomerular filtration rate operate in two ways. So to maintain the regulate the glomerular filtration rate, it operated by the two main way. One is by adjusting blood flow into and out of the glomerulus, and second one is alter the glomerular capillary surface available for the filtration. So glomerular filtration increase when the blood flow in the glomerular capillary is increased. So if the more is the blood, more is the filtration rate. So more is the filtration, so needed substance can be go out. If the abnormal thing, no? Coordinating control of the diameter of the both afferent and efferent arteriole regulate glomerular blood flow. If we control the diameter of the afferent and efferent arteriole, the glomerular blood flow can be regulated. So how to control this diameter? This contraction of the afferent arteriole decrease the blood flow into the glomerulus. This contraction we discuss in the next slide. So you can just listen this paragraph, so you understand how the next slides. So what happened if the contraction of the afferent and efferent only the afferent arteriole, that arteriole, afferent arteriole are contract, so the decrease in the flow of blood into the glomerulus. So if the dilation of the afferent arteriole, so it will be increased, that flow of blood is increased. These mechanism, these contraction and dilation of the afferent arteriole, these are controlled by control the GFR. So they have a three mechanism to control the GFR. First is the renal auto regulation, and the second is the neural regulation, and third last one is the hormonal regulation. You understand these points? So if the glomerular filtration rate is high, so what will be what our body do for this? And if the filtration rate is too low, then what our body feedback this phenomena, how cope up this conditions, these two conditions. First, if the high and if the low. So to control the glomerular filtration, our body perform the three mechanisms. First is the renal autoregulation. We did discuss these one by one with diagrams, and second one is the neural regulation, and last one is the hormone. So we discuss this. This is the diagram. Also a diagram with mechanism. So first is the renal auto-regulation of glomerular filtration rate. So renal auto-regulation, by the word you can understand renal, that is the renal tubule extra jo that in the renal part are used, and auto-regulation. Auto is the self-regulation. Okay. So this renal auto-regulation, it consists of two mechanisms. First is myogenic mechanism. Second one is glomerular feedback. So what is the meaning of this word? You may know this word meaning, that is myogenic. Myo means muscle and genic means producing. So this contraction is produced by muscles. So we discuss this. Stretching trigger contraction of the smooth muscle cell in the wall of afferent artery. So myogenic mechanism occur when stretching on the smooth muscles, when the stretching on the smooth muscle of the afferent arteriole. So what will happen? They trigger the contraction of that afferent arteriole. So in the diagram we see, I zoom the diagram. So what in the diagram? The arterial blood pressure increased, the afferent arteriole pressure is also increased, and after that arterial blood arterial wall stretched. The higher the pressure, they produce more force on the wall. So they increase the stretch on the arterial walls. So what happened? Sensation by myogenic stretch receptor. They have in the wall they have a smooth muscle fiber, have a receptor for the stretch having a receptor for stretch. So sensation is increased on that receptor. What will happen? Opening of voltage gate, the calcium ion channel is opened, and influx of calcium from the extracellular to the vascular smooth muscle cell. So increase this influx of calcium from the extracellular fluid to the vascular smooth muscle cells, and that trigger the contraction of the smooth muscle cells. So contraction of the smooth muscle cell will increased, and vasocontraction increased, and that minimize the diameter of the afferent arteriole, narrow the afferent arteriole, and by contracting the afferent arteriole, less blood will be flow in the afferent arteriole and minimize the glomerular filtration rate. This is the mechanism, that is myogenic autoregulation. By this the glomerular filtration is regulated. This is the autoregulation. Okay, and next for renal autoregulation is the second mechanism, tubuloglomerular filtration. As per name, this feedback is produced by tubular part of the renal tubules. That the renal tubules having macula densa that produce a feedback on the glomerulus. Okay, so we see the figure. So in increase in the glomerular filtration rate. Okay, if the glomerular filtration rate increased, what happened? The increase in sodium calcium concentration in the renal tube, because if flow is more, no more substance can be absorbed by the renal tube. If the sodium ion and chlorine ion concentration is increased in the renal tubule, the macula densa that macula densa cell detect these sodium ion concentration in the fluid, and by the increase of sodium ion chloride ion and water, they inhibit the release of nitric oxide. They macula densa decrease the release of nitric oxide from the cells, from nitric oxide from the cell of the juxtaglomerulus capsule. So what is the function of the nitric oxide? These are the vasodilation. They do vasodilation. So if the release of nitric oxide is inhibited, so what happened? Afferent arteriole constrict, and the level of NO, that is nitric oxide, declined. Okay. As a result, less blood flow into the glomerular capillary and decrease the glomerular filtration rate. So you understand that macula here some points are missing, so I add up that point. What happen if the concentration in the renal tubule of sodium ions, chloride ions and water is increased? Macula densa do they reduce they inhibit the release of nitric oxide. Okay, so nitric oxide, they are vasodilator in nature. Here they also write a adenosines. So adenosines and the nitric, main is the nitric oxide. So the release of this is decreased, inhibited. So the if the release of this is inhibited, the they the afferent arteriole will be contract. How they contract? Because nitric oxide mainly perform the vasodilation. So if the nitric oxide is inhibited, so automatically the contraction of the afferent arteriole is done. So the contraction of afferent arteriole is done by the macula densa and by the nitric oxide. So the contraction of afferent arteriole produce the less glomerular blood flow. If the lumen is narrow, then the flow of blood is decreased. So this, by decrease of this, they produce a feedback and decrease the glomerular filtration rate. So this is the feedback mechanism. You understand? Once I explain one more time. Okay. So what happened in this tubular glomerular feedback? If the filtration in the glomerular filtration, if the fluid in the glomerulus is increased, then the filtration rate is increased. So the more is the filtration, no more ions can be absorbed through the renal tubule. Most of the ions are flushed into the tube. So in the tubular part of the renal have a macula densa. On the ascending lymph of nephron have a macula densa. They sense the high concentration of sodium ion, chloride ion and water in the fluid. So they inhibit the nitric oxide. By inhibition of nitric oxide, they trigger the contraction of afferent arteriole. By contraction of afferent arteriole, they decrease the flow of blood into the afferent arteriole. So the glomerular filtration, so that the glomerular blood flow is decreased by the contraction of afferent arteriole. This is decreased, and this produces a feedback mechanism to decrease the glomerular filtration. This is the next renal autoregulation of glomerular filtration rate. So The third mechanism to control the renal glomerular third mechanism that control the regulation of glomerular filtration rate is the neural. Okay, what happened in the neural? As a name you understand that this is a type of nerve regulation. So as usually the 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 glomerular blood vessels have also supplied by a sympathetic automatic nervous system fibers as the blood vessels of the body present in the body. They also are supplied by the sympathetic automatic nervous system fibers. So sympathetic automatic nerves system release non-epinephrine. As you know, non-epinephrine are in vasoconstriction in of the of the smooth muscle fiber of the afferent artery. They work as a vasoconstrictile. So if the flow is more, they contract the afferent arteriole and decrease the glomerular filtration. Same as the previous feedback, it's also do same the work. But in this they release a non-epinephrine, and the main line is to remember that this is also supplied by this vessels glomerular vessels afferent vessels arterial vessels in the kidney are supplied by sympathetic automatic nervous system that secrete the non-epinephrine, which activate the alpha 1 receptor, which particularly affect on the smooth muscle fiber of the afferent arteriole. So this is the main. So sympathetic stimulate the moderately low and low the afferent and efferent arteriole are dilated. So the renal auto regulation of the glomerular filtration is pre-available. This non-epinephrine affect on the both efferent and afferent arteriole. They affect on the both at the same degree. So what happens? The blood flow into and out of the glomerular is restricted by the same extent with the with the decrease of glomerular filtration only slowly. You have got this point that the about the neural regulation of the glomerular filtration. This is the simple, that is this is a sympathetic nervous system and which release non-epinephrine, which is vasoconstrictile in nature, that affect on the smooth muscle fiber and muscle fiber of both afferent and efferent. They affect on the both at same level and affecting the they by that they regulate the glomerular filtration rate. So next is the hormonal regulation of glomerular filtration rate. In this they are regulated by the two hormones. One is angiotensin 2 and other one is the arterial natriuretic peptide ANP, and the angiotensin 2, this is the vasocontraction. They are the vasocontraction of the afferent and efferent artery. They reduce the glomerular filtration rate. And the ANP, atrial natriuretic peptide, they relax the glomerular mesangial cell. They, if the mesanganglion cell are relaxed, what will happen? More surface area for the filtration. So the filtration is already increased by the increase the surface area. So you got this point. So this is all about that. So now we see a table. This is a, so in this we summarize the regulation of glomerular filtration rate. These types of regulation measure, stimulate, and mechanism of the site of the action and effect of the GFR. So in renal auto-regulation, myogenic mechanism increase the stress of the smooth muscle fiber in the afferent arteriole, which afferent arteriole wall due to the increase in the blood pressure. So in the myogenic mechanism, the increase in the stretch on the smooth muscle fiber increase the pressure. So mechanism and site of the action: stretch smooth muscle fiber, contract, they thereby narrowing of the lumen of the afferent arteriole. So afferent arteriole will be narrowed, and the GFRL will be decreased. Understand this? This is a very nicely we study in the previous slides with diagram notations. Okay. So tubuloglomerular feedback. This is the feedback mechanism. This is rapidly delivery of the sodium ion, chloride ions, and water to the macula densa of the renal tubule. Have a cells that macula densa. The rapid delivery of these ions are sensed by this macula densa and produce the nitric oxide, and that by inhibiting this, the contraction of the afferent arteriole will occur, and by this the flow of fluid will decrease and the glomerular filtration rate will be decreased. And next is the neuroregulation. This major stimulus is produced by that sympathetic nerves that release a non-epinephrine, and non-epinephrine act on the alpha receptor of the afferent arteriole and increase the release of renin, and by the increase of the renin, that contract the afferent arteriole and decrease the glomerular filtration rate by decreasing the blood flow in the afferent artery. So this is the all about the neural regulation. Last is the hormonal regulation. The hormonal regulation by two hormones. First is the angiotensin, and this decrease the blood volume and blood pressure to stimulate production of angiotensin 2. By the angiotensin 2, this decrease the pressure, blood pressure, and blood volume. So if the blood